friend of Dad's. And afterwards went to a place called White's Fruit Farm, and they didn't have liquor, they had loganberry juice. And we were dancing to the jukebox, and in walks Dad. He'd paid his money for the dinner, but there was a wedding and the family went to the wedding. And at that time I wrote a column with my friend Mildred and Dorothy for the Cleveland News. It was called Well, Vacation Was Nearly Over by Mill Dottenbet. And Dad's brother wrote for that paper, and so he read my column. And my picture was in, he recognized me. And I wrote to Dorothy in New York. I met someone I really like, and I was with someone I didn't, and I may never see him again. Then I met him on the streetcar, and he said hello and goodbye. He had graduated, he was going to the Army. He had to go into the Army, they wouldn't let him graduate. Then he wrote me a card, and I wrote him a card. And he came home on a furlough, and we had a big argument.
What'd you argue about?
I don't know. And then he went to Oregon, and then he went overseas, and we wrote, and we wrote, and we wrote, and we wrote. And I was going to college. And it was love Pete, love Betty, pretty soon X's, which are kisses, and more X's. And I miss you. And then one day, it was Valentine's Day, and a girl I knew at school said she got a Valentine box of candy. I said, so did I. She got hers from Pete Appel. I was furious, because mine was from Pete Appel too. He had wired his sister to send us the candy, and his sister Lucille, your aunt. And he knew this girl because he had worked with her. She worked her way through college. But it wasn't a romantic thing, but they had written. And she's still friendly with my friends, Natalie and Leroy in Cleveland. She's married. And he quit writing, when I wrote him what I thought, he quit writing to her and he never wrote to her again.
Wow.
And then he came home and someone said, Pete Appel's in town. And I said, it's impossible. I was a senior in college. He didn't call. So I called his house and I talked to his sister, who I had never met. And I said, is your brother in town? She said, yes. Or is he in the United States, not in town? I said, my goodness, I'm really surprised he didn't call me. I was really boiling. And she was a little snotty too. She said, well, I have nothing to do with that. It isn't my fault. So when he came to Cleveland, I told him, I said, you know, you wrote to me for all these years and you didn't call. He said there were so many people jammed into the phone booth in Virginia when they landed that they couldn't get to a telephone. And then he was stationed at Crowell Hospital, which is on the west side of Cleveland, because his mother, who'd had a heart condition, went back to the hospital, like she was waiting for Pete to come home to die. And his cousin who performed the funeral said he feels she really did wait. I mean, she was very sick, and she waited for her younger son to come home.
Wow.
He was really good. He would scrub the floors. He did everything. And one Thanksgiving, he was at Crowell Hospital, and his father and I took 3 streetcars and a bus, because Pete had the car, to spend Thanksgiving with him at the Crowell Hospital cafeteria. And his father moved to help his brother in Philadelphia. He had gotten a very good job as an editor of the Enquirer, so we moved into their rented house. And Dad, we got married. He studied for the exam. I student taught. I graduated, and we moved to Philadelphia in the country, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and we lived with his brother, niece and nephew, and sister-in-law for a year.
Who was his niece and nephew?
Rick and Vivian.
Oh.
Rick was the most spoiled kid I've ever met. Dad gave him his first spanking. He really whacked him.
Yeah. Okay, you're okay, go.
We got married. I graduated. And Dad told me he wasn't going to be a pharmacist anymore. He was going to be a pharmaceutical chemist. So he got a fellowship from, forget the name now, pharmacy something, a big pharmacy group. And we had the GI Bill of Rights, $90 a month. And we moved on the farm. It was really a gentleman's farm. I mean, my brother-in-law didn't farm it, he hired someone. And we lived with him, and I worked in a hosiery mill as a biller. They taught me how to bill. And the owners of the hosiery mill were Jewish. And every day, Dad would take us to the train, and we would drive to Lansdale, Pennsylvania, from Chalfont in Bucks County, and I would eat lunch with these girls, and I took my lunch, and all of a sudden they were gone. Nobody was around. So this very nice girl, who was also very nice girl, who went to art school in the winter in Philadelphia and only worked there in the summer, came up to me and she said, "Betty, they left you because you're Jewish. Come with me." Went to the cafeteria, and I met very nice girls that I didn't know existed. And then I realized that we were talking one day, and these very ignorant girls whose idea of a good time was drinking beer at a tavern. They talked about the owners, that they were cheap and terrible and Jewish. I had this one girl that I went on the train with that Dad gave a ride to, said she went to church when she was on her vacation in Atlantic City. So I said, "Gee, that's nice, because I would never go to temple on my vacation." She then realized I was Jewish. So I came back from lunch. I didn't talk to her. They didn't talk to me. We then got on the train together, and when we got off, Dad was ready to give us both a ride. I said, "Don't you let her get in the car. She's anti-Semitic." And I was ready to quit, and he said, "You've got about 3 weeks, and I don't want you to quit." So finally, one day she said to me, "I'm sorry, I never met a Jew before." I said, "Well, if you never met a Jew before, how did you know you didn't like them? I mean, you can't dislike someone you don't know." And I said, "I want nothing to do with you."
Daddy, come here!
That was it. I never had anything to do with them again. And I ate with the girls in the cafeteria who were intelligent, who had brains, who didn't dislike someone because of their religion, especially when they had never known anybody of that religion. And then I taught the deaf.
Because I'm the oldest. That's true.
Wait, stop. You're supposed to stop.
We need a little more practice. Are we supposed to enter on the Ave Maria or wait until
No.
Taco Bell's
Taco Bell's
counting?
counted.
Wait.
You should. Do you want me to go get your flower real quick?
No, I want
Okay, you
Hold
walk in.
it.
Cover up your hair. You walk in. You walk in. Here's jam like this. And you're going to walk, and you're going to stand like there. Kelly, you're going to walk in. Okay. You're going to walk in and stand there. And this
in
side.
front of Grandma.
And this side.
Yeah. And then I come in and stand in front of both of you.
Like that, and the barber comes and stands there. Oh, good. Okay, come here. Mom.
Yes, we walk in front of
very special day with them. Your presence here shows your love and respect of their decision to be joined in marriage. Steve and Barbara, today you are surrounded by your family and friends as they gather to witness your marriage before God and to share in the joy of this happy occasion. Marriage can be described as the greatest relationship which can exist between a man and a woman. Marriage combines your love and trust into a single growing energy, an energy which can go on to embrace many others as you share as a basis for an everlasting friendship. May you know the satisfaction of each becoming a stronger person as you grow and change with the times. How fortunate you are to have found each other. What a treasure it is to have a companion for life. May you make it a lifelong and constant habit to enjoy beauty together. Steve, will you have Barbara as your wedded wife to be your friend and companion, to share your life and your love as you promise to give her your care, consideration, and respect through all the days of your lives?
Yes.
Barbara, will you have Steve as your wedded husband, to be your friend and companion, to share your life and your love as you promise to give him your care, consideration, and respect through all the days of your lives?
I do.
Steve, as you hold both of Barbara's hands in yours, will you repeat after me? I take you, Barbara, as my wife, to share my life and love, to honor and respect you, for as long as I shall live. Barbara, as you hold both of Steve's hands in yours, will you please repeat after me? I take you, Steve,
I take you, Steve,
as my husband,
as my husband,
to share my life and love,
to share my life and love,
to honor and respect you,
to honor and respect you,
for as long as I shall live.
for as long as I shall live.
May I have the rings? As tokens of their marriage, Steve and Barbara have selected these rings. They are the outward symbols of the affectionate love they hold in their hearts. Let them become constant reminders of the vows you make here today and of your love for each other. Steve, as you place this ring on Barbara's hand, please repeat this vow. With this ring, I thee wed, and pledge my love. Barbara, as you place this ring on Steve's hand, please repeat this vow. With this ring, I thee wed, and pledge my love.
and pledge my love.
And so your two lives are now joined. May you both continue to grow in acceptance, understanding, and compassion. May your home be bright with the laughter of many friends and a wellspring of strength for all who gather there. May it become the one place in all the world that you most want to be. Whatever trials you face in the future, may you trust each other always. Walking together, may you find more joy in life than either of you would have found walking alone.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagofen.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the world, who created the fruit of the vine.